The What a Stranger Told Me podcast.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Stranger things have happened.
Microphone. Confidence.
Don't talk to strangers.
All right,
Let's do this.
Excuse me. My name's Tim. I host a podcast called What a Stranger Told Me.
Hi.
And I wander the streets talking to strangers for 10 minutes. You up for a chat?
I actually don't have 10 minutes because I'm on a break.
You're on a
and
break.
I only have like 2 minutes left.
Good call.
So I'm really sorry.
Peace out.
Thanks, though.
See ya. Excuse me. I host a radio program called What a Stranger Told Me, and I wander the streets talking to strangers. Have you got 10 minutes? Absolutely not? Okay, thank you. She freaked out. Excuse me. I have a slightly unusual question for you.
Alright.
I have a podcast. My name's Tim.
Hi Tim, I'm Ashton.
Ashton, lovely to meet you. Mm-hmm. I have a podcast called What a Stranger Told Me.
Okay,
Goes around the world.
perfect.
I walk up to people like you and say, got 10, 15 minutes to have a chat?
Sure.
I don't know where it'll go.
But we'll find
Oh,
out.
that's awesome, Ashton. Thank you.
Okay.
What are you actually drawing right now?
Well, this is from yesterday, but I've drawn, this was a butterfly that I found on the bus yesterday as I stepped on. It was kind of like on the ground just below where you tap on, and everyone had trampled on him. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's
There you
obvious. So I picked him up and he just kind of sat in my hand and took him home, but unfortunately he did pass away. He was dying.
Right.
But I thought it was quite
How'd you feel
beautiful.
about
So
that?
it was upsetting to see him on the bottom of like the floor of the bus, but I think that like being able to kind of give him a nice comfortable place to rest was quite beautiful. And I collect dead animals, so I'll take him home back to Melbourne, where I'm from. Yeah, and create a nice little display. So.
Tell me about the collecting of dead animals. When did that start?
Well, I've always been interested in animals since I was a baby, but essentially, I think it must have started 2 or 3 years ago. But I found quite an interest in kind of honouring, like death in that way, but more importantly, like the life of the animal.
So not morbid, it's sort of like a celebration.
Yeah, definitely. And I collect bones as well, and I just find it really interesting. And obviously, it's just a natural course of life. So.
Is there one animal in particular that you hold close to your heart that you've collected?
Oh, that I've collected? I have I'm trying to think. I have quite a large rhino beetle that was he kind of catapulted it, I guess. He's very large, and I found him while I was away on holidays, Harvey Bay, just a bit further up, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, I was like, this is a beautiful animal, I want to honour it. So he's in a special little display in my room. But yeah.
Does he have a name?
No, he should have a name, shouldn't he? It's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe we can end it. We'll finish this interview with a name for your rhino beetle.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful artist, Ashton.
Thank you.
Is that something you've been doing all your life?
Yes, I've been drawing all my life. It's been a struggle to get to this point, as like the artistic pursuit is. It's all about skill and practice and just keep on going.
What does creativity mean to you, and how important it is to you?
Very important, very important. I think creativity is like a release of like the inner self, it's self-expression. I think it's important for everyone.
Does it scare you?
At times it can be scary, I think. Like the dauntingness of like the world. Fill it with creativity, I think that's a really good thing.
Do you just step into it each day, or is it like a big, okay, let's do this?
It used to be like that because I didn't practice every day. But now I've kind of gotten the hang of it and it's less daunting, and I see like an empty page and I'm like, okay, well if I don't know what I'm going to do, I'll just chuck something down and then I'll go from there. And I like to do that with paints. If I have a blank canvas I don't know what to do, I'll just like splash down some paints and then it kind of keeps rolling from there.
This may be a dirty word to you, Ashton, but do you commercialise it?
Oh, I don't commercialise it. I think I have my own business and I'm trying to get that rolling just as a form of income, but nothing much more. I think I want to bring my creativity to the world, but I also, more importantly, want to create like a community. I think that's the best thing about art, and especially with the scene back home in Melbourne, it's very much like you know everyone there and you see recurring faces and everyone's welcomed. I think that's really important, and community is just a natural human thing as well. So
You're drawing here using, what are you using there, ink and pencil and...
yeah, I've got everything. I've got
You travel with
like
the
yeah,
kit.
no, I do. I've got it right here.
I love it.
I've got
Pens,
pencils,
pencils,
yeah,
paints.
exactly.
Fantastic.
But no, I have a bunch of stuff that I do and I just have fun with it.
What scares you in the world at the moment?
I think in the moment it's like the level of hatred some people have for others. It seems, particularly with like all the debates going on in America and that kind of stuff that flows over into Australia because it's such a big influence within the world. I think that's quite a scary thing to know that like such an important leader in the world is able to bring so much hate into a whole place, a whole region. And I think it's important to kind of remember that humans aren't meant for that. We're meant to be kind to each other, and if we have disagreements, that's fine, but let's agree to disagree.
Ashton, do you want to
I've been kind of developing this look for years, so it's not something that just kind of like comes. But I enjoy a lot of like punk tributes. That's kind of like my activism side of my personality, and then I also enjoy like Gothic and that kind of like freedom of movement and just like that kind of beauty. And I think I usually have quite eccentric makeup as well that comes from like corpse paint and kind of like more music scenes.
Corpse paint as being, are they called Godivas or Gadavas? Is that what you mean by a corpse, a dead body?
Yes, it comes from...
Why do you use corpse paint? Is that a goth thing?
Yes, it's mainly goth, but it came one of the like original practices of corpse paint, let's say, is Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's that kind of look, and it's not for any kind of like morbid reason. It's more just like it's fun, it's expressive, and it's out there. And I think with people that I've met around my time in the scene and like hanging out with people who are very similar, like you'll notice that even though you appear like the appearance of corpse paint is quite scary in its nature, but you'll find that a lot of people find comfort in that in some kind of strange sense. And it's very interesting because you get a lot of people coming up to you and being like, hey, I really like your look, or hey, I need some help, like this and that.
This
is my dear mother.
Oh, hello, dear mother. I'm interviewing your dear daughter. Never met her before, but she looked very approachable. Okay, sorry, I interrupted you, but I was interested. I never heard of corpse paint. How would you describe your look? So it's punk, it's
goth. I try not to kind of follow the look of someone else. I kind of tried to forge my own kind of appearance, something that I like in myself when I'm comfortable. That's the main thing.
Yep.
Like as long as I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I'm not hurting anyone else, then I'm set.
Is it a stretch to sort of put yourself out there like you have?
It is a stretch. It's difficult and it can cause like social issues, like people are just gonna hate you for no reason.
Give me an example of where you felt uncomfortable because of who you are.
Well, I've never felt uncomfortable unless I'm being attacked, and that has happened and it will continue to happen because that's just the reality of being queer and being out there.
Attacked physically or verbally?
Both. I've had people chase me and all that kind of stuff, but I think ultimately the good outshines the bad. And I think it's important to be out there because even with my grandparents who would be very old, they started quite conservative, that kind of thing, but they know me and they see like my fashion and my sense and they love it now. And now when my other friends come over who are very similar to me, they're like, wow, you've really desensitized them to it. I'm like, yeah. But I think it's important to be out there if that's who you want to be, because the world isn't going to change if you're just like hiding, you know. But like, as you were saying before, like people who don't put effort into their like appearance, sure, I don't care, I love that. Like, as long as you're comfortable, you're happy.
Ashton, I've loved talking to you. I think we call your rhino beetle boss.
Boss. Sounds good. Boss.
Don't expect a response, but you know, I think that sort of suits the size of a rhino beetle.
Yeah, I reckon so.
What are you up to for the rest of the day?
Rest of the day, I'm going out for chips and milkshakes with my dear family, my mother and my sister, And yeah, we're just going to relax. I think we're going on jet skis later, which will be fun. But yeah, just having some fun.
Ashton, love talking to you.
Love talking to you too. Thanks so much. See you later.
Thanks, Mum.
Thanks for listening, and don't be a stranger.
If you've got a story you'd love the world to hear, then call us on 0489 272 286.
Also, if you'd like us to chat to strangers in your town, or maybe you've got a conference you'd like us to podcast from,
Then contact us at WhatAStrangerToldMe.com.
What a Stranger Told Me is made by Tim Reid and Jon Coghill,
Music supervision by Dennis Folletto.
photography by Andy McCall and Will Reid.
See ya.